Okay, so the stitches that you have to do on your sample are the running stitch and the back stitch and the chain stitch, and I'm going to show you a French knot in a moment. But I just thought I'd show you another couple because I'd like you to try and find some other stitches and maybe YouTube tutorials that you can have a look at. Only because I think that if you can do some really creative stitches, then you will have a much nicer product at the end. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do a cross stitch. Now you can see that I've done 2 lines. I have done it with a Sharpie because it needs to be a little bit more organised. So I'm going to start off with a stroke, and like a stroke key on a keyboard. Okay, so it's just going to go 45-degree angles. So I come in here and I come up vertically, and I'm going to do this all the way down. Now you can use this as a stitch in itself. So what I do is I do it about 45 degrees, and where it crosses the line I put the needle in, and then I go vertically up. Down 45 degrees where it crosses the line, put my needle in, take it up vertically. So I've got a row of stitches which actually are quite nice just by themselves. You could do it with 2 different threads, colour threads, so that you did a row. I've done like a burgundy colour here. Okay, I could do it where I leave it all the way through there with this downward stroke on, and then I could do a different colour in between. There's lots of different possibilities with embroidery and the stitches that you use using different colour threads. Obviously you do one first and then the other. My needle's just come unthreaded, so I'm going to do that again. Okay, but this looks quite nice. You can see that I put my thread. What's quite nice about using felt is it sort of stays there when you put it there to help you. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back the other way using the same holes that I created from my first downward stroke. I'm going to create a cross. So I'm using exactly the same holes, so I don't really have to think about it. What's nice about doing it this way is that all the crosses will go in the same direction. If anyone's done cross stitch, sometimes that's a little, it really does notice if you do the downward stroke on the top in the other direction to the other stitches, it notices. Okay, you can see, look, the end of my thread, I don't want that there, so I'm just going to pull that through, because what will happen is my thread will get double the thickness. Okay, I don't want to leave it too short because it's going to be harder. A little bit tight there, you can see it started to pucker, and then right at the very end I'm going to stop here. Now I could have done those other strokes in a different colour, which might have been quite nice. Would have been very colourful, like Day of the Dead. If you wanted to do that in your threads, you can. You've got enough threads in your pack for your testing, if you cut them in half, to do quite a lot of stitching, but you will need probably 1 whole thread. That's the 6 strands divided into 3 for the end bit. Okay, so you can see I'm using my, you can't see because I haven't put it in front there, I'm using my needle to make sure my knot goes over the hole. And again, look how neat that is on the back and how neat that is on the front. And I know you're really good at keeping your work very neat, and just marking your work, I know you're very proud of it, so I want you to carry on being proud of it. So that's a cross stitch.